my favorite kinds of science fiction films are the ones that focus on the people dealing with the event and not the other way around. So this is, I guess, a reaction to films like, Armageddon and whatnot, where the spectacle of the world ending is sort of the point of the film, whereas I think this is more about, humanity and what humanity is capable of, when the chips are down. And this was my attempt to make a film that I like to watch when it comes to science fiction, like 28 Days Later or 12 Monkeys, about a single character who's caught in an extraordinary situation. And we definitely had to have a certain level of effects in the movie and those sort of tropes, but I never wanted them to get in the way of James's journey. And that, I think, gives it a very visceral, sort of personal sort of feeling when you're watching the movie, because this is all putting the audience into one character's shoes, as it were. And I think that's maybe why it's having an impact with audiences, because you are sort of swept away in this unrelenting story. Okay. Well, essentially, what I really hope the audiences take away after leaving the cinema is reflecting upon their own life and their own mortality and what is important to them. If you were told you were going to die in 12 hours, you're going to take stock of your life and you're going to think about where should you go, where do you belong, who do you love, who should you see, what should you do, and what would you do on the last day on Earth. And the great thing about that question is that everyone has their own answer, and no answer would be the same to the next person. So this is but one character's journey, but we've all got our own films inside of us set around this final day. Pinching myself that I could get such an amazing cast together. Especially Nathan Phillips and Angourie Rice, like they just make James and Rose come to life as living, breathing entities. And you never know how these things are going to translate. You write a script and then you cast and then you start shooting and you hope for the best, and you don't have a lot of time to play around. So luckily we had actors like those two that just hit it out of the park, and it really could have been a different movie if they didn't have a really good chemistry and dynamic offset, because they really did look out for one another. And if anything, Nathan playing James was like the class clown mucking around with Angourie, who is such a mature, level-headed little girl, that it was like the yin and yang of the universe when we were filming and when we weren't filming. And it was just great to have Nathan really look out for Angourie on set, especially when we get to the party and it's like just 5 days in a row of like just mayhem. So that was also very important. Every year in Australia, it just seems like the cinema is going from strength to strength. I mean, taking the 8 films that are in Sitges this year, including ours, but you've got things like, The Infinite Man, The Babadook, The Rover, like the list goes on and on and on. Like there's just so many talented voices in Australia, and when you do get to travel to these festivals, it's just cool to see like how they're impacting our cinema goers and how they're impacting other festivals. And just to even be a part of that conversation is great. And the fact that there are 8 Australian films here, even Mark Hartley's doco, Electric Boogaloo, which is just going gangbusters. It's just a real honour, to be from Australia and to be able to showcase our films. We've just been blown away by the impact the film seems to have with audiences, who I guess whenever I see it come to an end, like people are sort of stuck to their seats, sort of speechless, not really knowing how to react, which is kind of interesting and really cool to see it sort of smack people upside the head. But yeah, again, you just set out to make a movie and finish it. Like you never know how it's then going to translate with an actual audience and screenings and festivals, and for it to have even the slightest impact is just amazing. And to have people, that I've never met before, reaching out to us through our Facebook page to just say, "Oh my God, I just saw these final hours, and this is what I thought of it." Like to have people you've never met want to reach out to you to tell them how much they got out of it. It is amazing. And what more could you ask for as a filmmaker than having your work seen by people, and then for it to affects them in any way, shape, or form is just fantastic. We're all good?
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a 25-day shoot with no margin for error. Shooting 5 days a week, for 25 days. Like it was chaos, and every day we were in a new location of Perth. And when it came to even doing the party, like that was 5 days bunkering down in the mansion, and tears, mate, everyone involved in this movie who were just so excited. The crew were just so excited about even bringing something that was trying to do with what we were setting out to do in Australia and in Perth in particular. We don't see a lot of these kind of movies made in Perth, and London and New York and all these places get destroyed over and over again in these end of the world films, but no one's ever looked at a place called Perth, Western Australia, and I think that was the badge of honour that everyone was excited about. And I guess just in terms of like what was going on behind the scenes, just a lot of hard slog and a lot of hard work, and that's why the end product on the screen looks the way it does for what was a relatively small budget, because everyone lifted their game because they were just so passionate about the project, and made my job a lot easier having that many passionate people working. A couple of things right now. One is more of a character journey, not really a genre film, and then the other one is just very much a genre film. So I just want to dabble in both areas and keep creating films that sort of smash the two together as well. And I don't really think about what particular genre I want to work in. I just want to tell interesting films about the human condition, whether or not they happen to be set in a genre backdrop or not is not really important to me, but I do love really cool genre films, so I'm sure I'll be making some more, hopefully, touch wood, after this, if people give me money. Well, like Angari Rice, Jessica De Gouw is also from Perth, so we already knew each other before we made the film, and she went off and she was doing Arrow and she was doing Dracula and all these amazing things over in Hollywood, and it was just fantastic to be able to get a window that we could get her back for a week to do her role in the film as Zoe. Jess is just amazing, and such a delightful person to work with, so talented. Like, she's just got it all, and I think she's going to be huge. She's going to be huge, and the fact she's even in our film at all, like, is just such an honor to have been able to make a film with her.